Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Woo, I am at the park on this beautiful fall day. Oh my gosh. It is gorgeous out here. I haven't been to the park in a few weeks, in a few Tuesdays. Can you guys see this? Okay, hold on. Let me respect this man's privacy. I'm trying to hold on. Okay. Sorry. I just wanted, yeah, there we go. That's a little better. But how is everybody doing on this beautiful day? Get out and move yourself around. And of course, I am coming on to give you guys little updates. And you know what? I wanted to share a little bit. And I wanted to come on and just share with you a little bit about my yoga journey, me practicing yoga, how I got started, and really tell you why, and some of the changes and things like that I've seen. And I'm going to tell you, one of the things that's like prompting this response is the some of the negativity that I hear and see and that I've experienced myself about yoga practice, my yoga practice, and some of the comments I see on other content creators who practice, and about it being demonic, and other practices, especially other spiritual practices that are us, that are from people of color. Why we, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Everybody has their own relationships with God. Everybody has their own beliefs and everything. But I think what bothers me, something that bothers me, and this is very controversial when it comes to making that statement, is that we are commenting, we are judging people on things that seriously it's had a very positive effect on their health. And it's from people and this is something that has originated from people of color. And yoga is like a limb. It's just a limb. It's a lifestyle. It's not a religion. I get confused. I'm not sure, but you know what? I don't really want to get all into that. I'm just going to tell you really, and I want you to really, really do some deep thought and do your research, just like I've done my research. And if you know me, and you've known me for years, and you've known my family, and you know what, I don't even know if that even matters, because you know what, I'm gonna continue to do what I do with it, because it does me good. So let me tell you, let's talk about this for just a minute, okay? So I'm going to tell you, really, I first did yoga years and years and years ago. I'm going to really say not 10 years ago. That would put us 2013, a little over 10 years ago. I think I attended, I really wanted to try a yoga class, even longer than that, 20 years. I'm going to go back 20 years. I had attended a yoga class. And at that time, I was at a point in my life where I was really doing a lot of cardio. I was doing Zumba every day. I was enjoying Zumba, and I was getting a lot of benefits from that. But I had a friend who had invited me to go to a yoga class. And I was like, great, okay? And at that time, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try this. Because it's all about flexibility and, keeping your bones and stuff healthy and building strength. It was good for you in that sense. I really didn't know a lot of the other benefits that would come from it at that time. And so, like I said, I was very much cardio. And I was also still in the Army. I was still in National Guard, and I really needed that cardio because, to help me pass my run, the 2-mile run and everything I had to do every year. So I went to this yoga class, did the yoga class. I went a few times, but I really didn't care for it because Honestly, I didn't know a whole lot about yoga. I was caught up in the fact that I wasn't able to do all the postures. I had that mindset that it was completely for, and just keeping it real, that it was for, these beautiful, skinny white women, because that's who was in the yoga space. And they were able, watching them, they were able to do all the postures. There wasn't anybody, as he was teaching the class, nobody encouraging me, nobody, saying, hey, this is an individual practice, do what you do, don't worry about whether you can do the posture or not. None of that was being said or being taught at that time. And that was just my view of it, that it was not for me. And there was no benefit, and I did not fit in. Okay? And so I stopped. I went back to doing my normal Zumba, my cardio, walking, trying to run, trying to just maintain, my push-ups, my sit-ups, so I could pass the Army physical fitness test every year. So I could at least pass. Wasn't trying to be no superstar. I was, let me be able to pass my test and all that kind of stuff for my evaluations, whatever. All right. So fast forward. Let's fast forward 10 years. Okay. And, to 2018. So we're talking, a few years where by that point, I'm in my 40s. No, I'm sorry, in my 50s. Because that's when I really started to really start to practice. I'm in my 50s. I am overweight. My blood pressure is high. My anxiety had been through the roof and not manageable for years and years and years. My diet was bad. Everything was kind of just bad in my life. The only thing that wasn't bad was that I was getting up and going to work every day. I had a job. I had a husband. I got 2 great kids. Those were the only things that were not that was going fine. But everything else personally and as far as self-care, it was not good. I was not exercising really on a regular basis. I was trying to eat healthy, but not as healthy as I could. And so I'm sitting having lunch with one of my work besties. We're sitting in the cafeteria eating. She would bring food, I would bring food. We would share our meals, and most of it was pretty healthy. And all of a sudden, Roz says to me, and I'm so thankful to her. I am so thankful that she introduced me to, that kind of really encouraged me. And we were talking, and Roz is always, really. She was kind of what we call the witch doctor at our job, okay? Because, she always was like sharing just holistic ways for us to be healthy. And she could see that a lot of people were struggling with their health. And I'm sorry if somebody has jumped on, I can't see. I don't know why I'm not seeing comments or names. I'm swiping to try and see. But so Roz came on. Roz would just be encouraging people to be healthy. And, she makes her own soaps, and she would always be talking about oils and all kind of stuff and healthy diet. And I don't know, her and I just bonded, and we started eating together, and slowly things just kind of started to change. She would talk about scraping your tongue and just all kinds of things to be healthy. And so all of a sudden, we're sitting in the lunchroom this one day, and Roz goes, and I'm going to tell you, y'all, look, if you saw my video on leadership, you saw how I ended up, you heard how I ended up in the service. This is how same thing, a friend said, let's go try and do something. And me being the good friend that I am, like, okay, yes. All right. So Roz is sitting, and she said, Laverne, she was like, you know what? My partner is always talking about, yoga, and he practices, he used to practice yoga before him and I started dating, and he used to do hot yoga, and he was talking about the benefits and da. And let me tell you, this is, another black male. This is a black male that's talking about this. That's telling my friend Roz about all these benefits. And she was like, look, I saw that there's a hot yoga studio not too far from work. She was like, we can go, we should go and try it after work one day. And I was like, well, when is the next class, Roz? And she goes, it's tomorrow. She said, it's Friday. It was Thursday. It was payday. It was on a payday. And I said, okay, perfect. I get paid. I got some money for the class. I have some money for the class. I'll go if you go. Roz was like, okay, cool. So I did a little research. I packed up all my stuff, got all my stuff together, went and did a little research on it, prepared for the class. We show up at the class that day. It was hotter than I don't get out. I mean, it was hot. Of course, I knew it was going to be hot, but I didn't know it was going to be 105 degrees and 40% humidity. And like I said, I am just a punishment for the hard things in life. And showed up at the class. It was 90 minutes, 26 postures. You do each one 2 times. You sweat like crazy. But man, did I feel really good afterwards. It felt great. Okay, now I want you to keep in mind, just like I said, listen, my diet was not that great. I was overweight, my blood pressure high, all that kind of stuff was just up. Bad anxiety. And, for a lot of various reasons. And so I got home, and Jim was like, how was the class? And I was like, oh my God, I felt good, but I also got the sheesh kicked out of me too. It was a tough class. The teacher who taught that class was like, okay, you got it at the end. She was like, you got to come back the next day. And I was like, are you kidding me? Even though I felt good and it was tough, I was still like, come back the next day. She was like, yeah, you got to come back tomorrow. Okay. I'm coming back tomorrow. So lo and behold, I packed up my stuff and I came back the next day. And from that point on, I practice almost every day. I practice almost every day. I said I think maybe I didn't go on the weekends, but for the most part, I'm gonna say I practice probably five days a week, 5 to 6 days a week. And I cannot tell you how life-changing it's been, and it was for me. So because it was so life-changing, there was no drinking that was going on in the room. There was no smoking that was going on in the room. There was no eating of bad foods. There was just people in their community, all of us being their community, and I know with a common goal of taking care of ourselves, practicing something to help us breathe a little easier, sleep a little better at night, be a little more healthier, managing our anxiety, managing our depression. Even for me, being able to sit still, pray, and listen a little more to God. Have a more closer relationship. So I want to ask, where's the demonic of that? Because I was practicing so much every day. I saw such a shift in my health and my mental health. And I went to the doctor and my numbers had changed. I was on thyroid medication, a blood pressure medication, cholesterol, all those numbers had changed. And she was like, okay, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm just going to yoga. She was like, what type of yoga? Hot yoga? Oh my gosh, you need to keep going. It was simple as that. My anxiety went away. I would have acid reflux really bad. All of that went away. I had developed a desire to start to eat better because I got into community. There were other people that were there that were working on the same goals. We were building community. We were encouraging each other. We were showing up. We were getting better. So I'm trying to understand and still tell me where is the demonization or whatever. I don't know where that is and where it's coming from because none of that. I'm doing better. So much to the point that after one, I got certified. In that, I started, teaching. My confidence built, because if you really want to challenge yourself and you want to build some confidence and you want to grow maybe the self-esteem, get on the yoga. I'm challenging you to do something difficult physically, mentally, because it takes some mental stamina, not physical stamina, because it's not about the postures. Okay, again, it's not about the postures. It is mental stamina to go somewhere and sit and be still for a half hour, for 20 minutes, for 90 minutes, to breathe. Stand there and look at the mirror. Look at yourself. Look at yourself. The ugly, the good, the bad, the not too nice in the mirror. That it is a test of mental health. That's the test. That is the challenge. Okay, it takes something to be it takes something to be able to sit and do that. Where is the demonization of that? Of you going and truly looking at yourself and realizing that you need to change on the inside, on the outside. It's an internal work and a change for the better. Okay? From that, I began to teach. From that, my anxiety improved. From that, no acid reflux. From that, my knee was doing better. I strengthened my knee. Because I had, issues with my knee. I had all kind of stuff that was going on. And a lot of it stress related, which came from my job, I work in mental health. I work in community mental health. A lot of stress. So much that my husband, Jim was seeing so many changes, positive changes and everything, that he was like, okay, I need to go try some of that. His mental health, his physical health changed so much. At 58, he's not taking anything. He's not having to take a single medication right now. And he goes to the doctor and she's like, keep doing what you're doing. Encouraged him to walk more, encouraged him to breathe a little lighter. Life changing. So I question, and I know I really don't need you to give me any answers, because I already know. I've done the research, and I already know. But why, something where you're not hurting people, anything, you're building community in a positive way, which is what we should be doing, is building community and helping each other to feel better and do better. Again, I'm just missing it. And it's very concerning to me, because yoga, it comes from people of color. I don't get it. I don't get it. And again, I'm not looking for any explanation. If we want to have intelligent conversation, I'm open to that, but I don't need my reasons. I'm going to continue to do what I do because I feel good. And I'm going to tell you, this last year and a half, I had several losses the last year and a half, starting from January of 2023. Experienced, loss of family members, loss of a dear friend. I lost my last living aunt, elder, on my mom's side. No one left over there. Now just myself and my cousins, my 9 first cousins. That's it of us that's left. On my mother's side, immediate family. I lost my father-in-law this last year, and health-wise, I lost him 6 months ago. And health-wise, my health kind of spiraled these last 18 months. because I stopped doing cut back. I didn't stop, but I cut back on an everyday practice, a practice that was helping me to feel better and keep me healthy. My numbers changed a lot. I've had, an issue with my knee, where I had to go to physical therapy. My mental health was not, kind of took a dive because I cut back from doing something that was keeping me and helping me to feel good. And that was me being on the yoga mat every single day. So if I was getting all those great results, what probably really became demonic was the fact that I stopped. Okay? And that reached over, hey, April, how are you? That me stopping doing that thing that was doing good for me and making me feel good is now, to the point where I am starting to refresh, get myself, really back together and get my health back in check. Okay? So, in saying all of that, because that's been something that was really on my mind, and my coach, my life coach that I work with, who also practices yoga, who also experienced the benefits of it in every area of her life. Someone accused her of it being demonic, and it was like, are you serious? When it's like helped her to get rid of acid reflux, when it's helped her get rid of pain in her pelvic area, all postures that were encouraged by her from her physical therapist. She's doing 100% better. Also, I don't know, in your 50s, and y'all, look, I'm sorry, I'm keeping it real. I hope you're picking up some of what I'm putting it down. But you know what? I'm in my late 50s, and I'm just going to say it. My sex life ain't over yet with my husband. And so it keeps me flexible. It keeps me moving. It keeps things looking good. Okay? In a lot of ways. All right? I'm just putting it out there. I'm just keeping it real, and that's just where it's at. And so maybe if you're thinking about it, maybe you should just try it. Maybe by me stretching my body, moving my body, maybe really what's happening is I'm fighting the demons of obesity, depression, anxiety, worry, bad eating habits. If anything, I'm fighting demons, because that's what those all are. Those are the demons. Those are the demons that we should be worried about, that's killing our health, if you really want to know the truth. All right. So listen, I'm challenging you between now and the end of December. You don't have to practice yoga. And that's not my point. I'm just saying maybe you try it. But I am going to challenge you to do something to start to move your body. Especially now in your 50s. I'm telling you. Though I just listed the demons that you want to fight. Okay, because it is for sure. If you don't start, something's going to take you out. Okay, and it's going to be one of those. Move, and those are all things that you can control. We can control our eating. We can control what we drink. We can control how much of the social media we consume. Hey, Margaret, how are you? And April. We can control all of those things. Those are all demons within our control. What kind of food we eat, how much of the food we eat, the bad food, we can control all of that. Okay? And I control it all by being on my mat. Okay? I fight those every day by walking and being on my mat.
The same thing.
Yep.
Motivation.
Right. Exactly. Exactly, right?
Because the country needs people like us.
You got it. Exactly.
Successful and have dreams, and we gotta be the cheerleaders for everybody.
That's right. Thank you, sir. Have a good day. I'll see ya. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? So what I'm saying to you is stop. Let's motivate each other. And again, what's the real demons? The food, the bad food that we eat, the alcohol, all of that. Okay? The too much alcohol, the too much junk food, we're all guilty of that. I'm speaking to myself. Those are the demons, y'all. Those are the demons. Okay? So listen. Join me in my second act group that's coming up. The second act. The second act can be about taking care of your body, writing a book, starting a side hustle. It can be about what you're doing in retirement. But look for my membership group that's going to be coming. It's going to be starting soon. It is going to be the second act. And Margaret, you said clearly, do I need to turn it up a little bit? Okay, I might have been muddled, but I hope you go back and you catch that. But listen, have a fabulous day. Guess what? I'm going to take care of my teeth. I got a dental appointment, because that's something that we've got to be aware of. And listen, look for the membership group. I'm also looking for 5 women to work for, work for. I'm going to work for you, coach you in this coming year. My membership group is going to be open. Go catch my YouTube videos. Come to a grief yoga. If you have not attended a grief yoga and you're wondering what goes on in grief yoga, what's it all about? I promise you, and I'm going to tell you, it's about fighting some of the demons. And sadness, sorrow, those are all things that are part of grief. Those are all things that are part of grief. But I want you to find a little peace with them, and they come normal. Those are normal things. But I want you to also come and just fight some of the other things that push through it, fight through it when you are ready. 2 more grief yogas left for the year. Holiday grief. Oh my gosh, it can be not easy. Talking to my clients last night who have just lost loved ones, and here it is, they're going to be their first the first holidays without a grief. Thank you. You know what? Let me turn this around. Y'all look, I just made a friend in the park.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Say hi.
Exactly.
Just, you know what? The strength to keep helping counseling my clients that are struggling with grief. And we're moving into this seasonal depression. I would just appreciate that. It's a heavy time.
Can I
sure.
say 10 seconds or something?
Sure,
So
let me make sure.
that I talked about over there was that we live in a world where we're more concerned with people hearing us. And we could flip the script and become an agent of change if we stop and listen. And instead of just wanting people to hear us, what if we heard other people?
Absolutely. Yep.
So so what you're talking about, that's awesome.
Okay, you must have heard some of my conversations. Sorry.
Awesome.
Thank you. All right.
Sometimes there's God moments.
Yeah, exactly. Take care. All right. So listen, y'all, I am on my way back to the car. And that was a divine order, because usually I'm out here a little earlier this morning. But listen, I will see y'all. I will see you on the mat. Margaret, thanks for joining me. April, if you're still here, thanks for checking in. You guys have an awesome day. Okay? We'll see ya. Sure.
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Strangers in the park. That's awesome. Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, bless you.
Yeah, bless you too. Take care.